lied. It's recording.
It is right now?
No, it's not. I thought a joke. Yeah, it is.
Oh shit. Alright. Uh Welcome back to the Bleach Wiki podcast for chapter 627. I'm Zill and I'm still off guard because Sun doesn't know how to properly say, oh, it's recording.
It is recording.
Next time tell me you're gonna start.
Okay, right.
Honestly.
Do you want to start it again? I can crop that bit out.
No, no, we'll
Give it
do it
like wait
live.
three
We'll do it
seconds.
live.
We'll do
I'll
it
write the
live.
script, we'll do it live.
Do it live. Sorry, I didn't know my phone was on there. Sorry. Yeah, no, sun's here still. Yeah, proper sun.
And Sal in future, theoretically.
Theoretically, whenever they don't want to hide, they're hiding at the moment. We have to
Hmm.
find
Yeah,
them.
we're here in spirit.
Yeah.
No, 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 no. You're in the tall grass. I'm gonna get you, and I have to fish for Sal
No,
with a super rod.
Sal yeah, Sal's just
Right.
Sal is always inches over the
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so this
That's
week's
his. That's his
chapter.
mildly disapproving. Like, you guys gotta fix that intro.
Yeah, no, that's just like that's his way of saying anything. Like from anything from like ecstatic joy to just like utter depression to overwhelming anger. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Alright, so this chapter, The Creation, which was I swear to God these chapters are getting more and more biblical the more we go on. So not much. I'll admit that, not much. And they got to the top of the
Not
elevator.
much is an understatement.
Okay,
They
when I
got
said
to the
not much
top of
earlier
the
in the week,
elevator.
you started lecturing me on what was happening, and I was like, I saw that. It
I
doesn't mean
what?
that much happened.
I'm pretty sure I only talked about like the dialogue.
Yeah, you were like, but dialogue, son.
The
Right,
dialogue.
right. Okay.
Well, no,
So,
you know, no, like, because he was talking about like how you like Naruto over that, and I'm like, yeah, what a surprise.
well,
Like,
no, no, no.
it's
To be
not a
fair,
shock.
something happened in Naruto, as in a child who has not met her dad before met her dad, and he bloody well attacked her.
And something what happened here? They got to the top of the elevator.
Yeah, and went,
Ding,
oh,
ding.
ding. Sorry, I
Uh,
do not need
so,
three
uh,
chapters to go ding.
so, 3 or 4 parts to this. So, the opening dialogue between Ichigo and the Fullbringers. So, Yukio doesn't want to fight a bunch of homicidal maniacs as a teenage boy.
Because
He's
he's a cowardly cunt.
he's clearly insane. I mean, why wouldn't he want to do that? Ganju's pissed at him. Ichigo's like, nah, bro, it's okay. And he wants Ryuka to stay behind. And
I know, because she's a female, them damn females that love
no,
stuff, they must be left behind. Why isn't he leaving Orihime behind at this point then? Because
that
that's all she does. I love you.
that's well. Apparently, he wants her to protect Yukio, but I love. I, I'm still cracking up over how much of a tsundere she was about it. She's like, I didn't make this box for you. It wasn't for you, Baka.
I don't, I try not to even concentrate on what Sundaras are and stuff, like even when they do
Oh
a
my
fairy
god.
tale.
Even though that was funny, I like the thing that how he is like. Even though the Valley Screams is like real not cute, you still did it for us. And she was like all blushing and shit, and that was nice. I mean, Kubo hasn't forgotten that the first thing she did upon seeing him was yell, "What a hottie!"
Yeah, I'm kind of confused. Is he making the movie canon at this point? The first one at least?
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. So this is the second mention of the Valley of Screams. Like,
This
so
time
in
from
five,
Ichigo, not
yeah,
from like
in
a character that would know.
525, Yorichi was like, "Oh, Ichigo, this is what Valley of Screams is," and then now he's like, "I've been there before."
It's not pretty.
It's not pretty. I mean, so like the design seems to be the same as the movies version with the cliffs and like the window pane sticking out. And so yeah, I don't know what the hell's
Oh,
going
oh,
on
oh,
here. Like,
disapproving, disapproving sigh.
oh
I
yeah, I can
I
feel it. I can feel disapproval from his voice.
It's the sigh.
I
Yeah.
would I would make the case of saying that the usage, I wouldn't say anything, probably anything coherent about the movie or whatever. He could make the point that he's been there before, whatever. I don't think the entire any more than the Hellverse is. So I'm thinking that in this situation, what we're talking about specifically is realms, specific locations and places. Hell exists. We know that.
Uh,
Trying to attribute what happened in the Hellverse predominantly does not really mesh because it wasn't featured in the manga at all, except for that beginning part when it pretty made clear that Arenario and what's his name, Caesar actually ended up there.
Oh, I
And then of
hated
course
that
they come in at
panel,
7,
man. I
and
hated
then
that.
instead of venturing into that, we ended up getting something where it just segued into some movie that was so far apart from what we know about what's going on in the manga and didn't make any daggone sense in comparison to what was going on in the manga that we couldn't, obviously there was no way, it's obviously not canon. You can't even include it. So, but the fact of the matter is, hell does exist. We know that. And in this particular instance, the Valley of Screams, by virtue of, you know, being a location, you could say that it exists. The biggest difference here is the explanation given in the manga is entirely different from explanation, or at least the mechanics
Mhm.
given the in the movie.
Yeah, well, yeah,
And the
well.
insinuation is made that there is a connection between the Valley of Screams and the Dangai, or the Valley of Screams and Garganta and stuff like that, that was not even really made in the movie. So I'm guessing that they just want to attribute that Ichigo somehow seen this before. I don't know necessarily that I would say attribute to the same what happened in the movie. I mean, because let's be realistic, he has been through the Garganta and through the Dangai, and has hung out in the Dangai for, what it amounted to, what, like 3 months or something like that. So, I mean, there could be numerous cases of him seeing any number of things while going through there. And that's what I think we're kind of led to believe with the information that we have in the manga. If nobody saw that movie, then we wouldn't even attribute that. We'd be like, what is he talking about? And the only thing we could extrapolate from that is from what they're saying about the Valley of Screams in the manga, which is its connection to the Dangai and the Garganta.
Yeah. No, no, I
Okay.
get what you're saying because obviously we were shown hell, for example, in like the early chapters, and it was clearly established that people who go to hell are people who have committed wrongs in their living life. And then
And
suddenly, no, no, it's the Arankar that go to hell. Yeah, those guys go to
yeah,
hell too,
and
apparently.
I think this is kind of like, I'm not going to say that it's entirely, based on Kubo, because I know a lot of writers do this. When you're doing something, as long as you're doing it and you make concepts up, and I think this is probably one of the bigger issues that I kind of have with Bleach is you make these concepts up, and there's a lot of times you come back to them later on, but at the same time there's a lot of times where you totally forget them. Like this
Mhm.
whole concept, the whole concept behind hell was, oh, you're a bad guy if you're a person who does evil as a human being, regardless of whether you die and turn into a hollow, the Zanpakuto can cleanse you of sins that you commit as a hollow, and you're purified and you go to soul society, rejoining the cycle of life.
Mhm.
If you if you are a hollow and you get purified by the Zanpakuto, and it turns out that it can hit, you did evil as a human being, like the butcher guy who was the serial killer, murder or whatever, then
Shrieker.
you go to hell. Now, that was something that I mean, it's a small thing, but it was something he established with one of the, you know, main opponents in that arc.
Mhm.
And then after that, much like a lot of the basis for the series, it kind of disappeared into the ether as something unimportant. The soul reapers, Shinigami, are supposed to be, these guys that shepherd the souls and, protect the towns from hollows and shepherd the souls into the afterlife. And we have seen virtually none of that since the, start of the Soul Society arc. Not even really a mention of it, as being of any concern until, I think I brought this up before, this arc, where it became very important that, oh, we have to have a balance of souls or whatnot, because otherwise, everything's gonna fall apart. And it's like, if that was so precarious, then why are you bringing it up now? So this is the same thing,
Mhm.
is that we had this whole thing with hell, bam, and then now, you know, and then we see
Yeah.
characters that were human. We can gauge up and down how much they deserved it, but we see characters that are human who have done wrong, and namely, some of the Fullbringers, and they died and they didn't go to hell. So then that brings up a question like, okay, so I guess we just forgot all about that, and then segue now to you
Yeah, the
know,
main
the
person being
yeah,
Jericho there, because he is
yeah.
a murderer.
And then
He's a
we segue now
sociopath.
to the Valley of Screams, and it's like, okay, well, yeah, you did that in the movie thing, but you really never really mentioned it outside of that.
Hmm.
And now you're mentioning it as if you had talked about it or featured it somewhere before, and now it's just I mean, obviously, this show, the series is obviously, we obviously go a little bit deeper into it than, is probably intended and stuff like that. So of course we're gonna notice the flaws, but like, why would you introduce something that isn't necessarily concrete, established in the storyline as if it was, and we're not supposed to notice? Like, it kind of doesn't make any sense. It's like, everybody knows Superman, everybody knows what Superman can do, and then out of nowhere you're saying, oh yeah, he also can, manipulate reality with magic, and you're like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah. Well,
Like,
I
when was
actually
that?
liked his new. I liked the sound of his new power. Where what was it again? What did you call it? The burst, solar burst was it, or solar like where he
Solar
releases?
flare.
There we go. Thank you, thank you, thank you, boss. Yeah. See, we're like one mind, like one mind. But
But
Wait, was it
that's,
actually solar flare? I was just yelling that out because like that's from Dragon Ball Z.
I don't
is it not solar
I
flare?
I don't know.
Well, it's like the flash thing they do. Solar flare.
Oh, sorry. Okay, maybe it's not then. My
But
apologies
you
there.
know, yeah. So I mean, he introduced this thing, Valley of Screams, and now we're sitting here questioning where the hell did he get it from? Because, like I said, if none of us had known anything about this movie, and we're reading the manga, and then of course, later on down the line, not saying that it will be, but later on down the line, it's in the anime, then people are gonna be like, okay, what the hell's going on? Because I don't think any of us, including any of the people who are more animated than manga, make it a point to watch any of these daggone horrible ass movies.
Hey, first movie was okay. Everything else was shit.
Well, what I still didn't like about the first one was that Rukia apparently was still with Ichigo on her own while a Shinigami. I just don't like this whole way they don't do the timeline right. It's just, oh, we must have this character here, so we'll just pretend she lived with Ichigo, even though she didn't on her own. It was like there was a task force at the time when she was a Shinigami. I just don't like the way they establish it all out of continuity, so it's just alternate, you know.
Uh, future. Hi.
Sorry, it's like Bleach
Hi.
Ultimate or something. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hi,
What do you
future.
think about all this Fullbringer Valley Screams stuff?
Okay. It's just
One-worded
Are you
answer,
are you
Nelson.
are you bestie now? Jesus.
No, it's like
I, 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 sup- I suppose, or I don't know.
He doesn't know.
he doesn't know.
I don't,
Oh
stop
man.
putting the pressure on me.
You know
Pressure,
nothing,
pressure,
Jon
pressure.
Snow.
It is known.
Alright. Right.
Poor Jon Snow. He might die.
Oh,
Anyway,
don't. Spoilers!
Excuse me, son. This is Game of Thrones. Everyone might die.
Oh, that's okay.
Not a
Well,
spoiler.
well,
Anyway.
well, it technically is a spoiler if you know what I know. But anyway,
if you know what
um,
I know, if you all know what I know, okay. Carry
All
on.
right. So part two. The city being torn apart and the gateway being constructed. Finally,
Oh my
after
God, everything being torn apart again. I'm sorry, but I'm so
I mean,
sick and tired
this
of
is
having
a
single panels
tantamount
of,
of
by
what's
the way, things are getting destroyed. And it's like, yes, I
the
know.
problem with this
16
arc
chapters.
here is that there's destruction and then there's daggone creation and there's more destruction and more creation. And I don't understand the whole point of him, of Bach turning into Bob the Builder and daggone taking little pieces of his, makeshift city that he switched with the Sarate and brought it up to the Soul King Palace and stuff like that. Like, who the fuck? What
He
is
has
that
a very
for? So,
particular taste in furniture.
I
He
mean,
has a
Yeah,
what
very
purpose?
particular taste in walls and
he
stuff.
What
he did like the feng shui, obviously.
It has a
what is the
very
purpose
specific
of that?
taste.
We're like, oh, we need walls for people to crash through. Like, this is like the whole
I I think it's for
this is like
space
the
reasons.
fake
Yeah,
character.
we need, oh, that is a good point. We need new building for Ichigo to destroy when he goes, look at
Yeah,
me, I'm uber
it's
powerful.
Well, no,
this is like
not that
fake Karakura
necessarily.
Town all over again. Like, we could fuck up this town as much as we want because this is all fake. I said, okay, so let me get this straight. You knew Eisen was coming two fake character. I mean, two character core town to basically destroy it. So your emphasis is we're going to stop him right here and there. So we're going to bring out all our big guns, turn off all our limiters, and wait for him to come through. And what he doesn't know is we took the real character town, we put it in Soul Society, and we had the 12th Division spend loads amount of resources and times recreating an exact replica of said city, which even though we know Eisen is super smart and would realize this is fake, and
Which he
replace
realizes
that
right away.
city, down to the very details of what the buildings look like and so forth and so on, only so we can fight there and destroy it as much as we want to.
I think in
And
this
it was
case,
just like the most convoluted daggone, little trick possible that was realistic enough that lasts like for 5 seconds after Eisen appeared.
And
And
he went, yeah, you think I didn't know? No.
and then I'm just like surprised that Miyori's like thinking to himself, why the fuck did I do this?
why did
So-
I just kill them all? With
I
my
don't think he
poison
would give a
gas?
shit.
Why did I waste time and resources creating a fake city and stuff like that so they could destroy it? And, what difference does it make? I mean, you could have achieved just as much as putting a freaking shield over the real character town.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it
just
still had to
fighting
do
in
it by the
sky.
pillars and all too, didn't it? Like,
So,
why did he even bother? Like, right? Because he tried to destroy the pillars, and then no, it's fine. Defeated everyone, and then Isaac goes, right, time to go through the Dongai, and it's like you could have
It
just
would have
destroyed
been
the
more.
pillars.
It would have been more effective for them to put everybody asleep and just maneuver the people in the Soul Society or something like that, or be like, you know what, we're just gonna make it impossible for him to do what he wants to do and stuff like that. We're gonna console everybody. Everybody's going to the afterlife. You're all dead now.
I think
At
if
least you
Mayuri
wanna-
had been there
at least
and
you
he
wanna
discovered
try
his
and
plan,
keep-
he would have probably went, oh, time to switch back and kill everything.
At least you want a key. Jesus.
And,
Well-
and also just before you go into a point that I want to make, if the number of souls in each place is so if the thing is so precarious and so delicate that any amount of dead hollow or rancor you have to balance the scales by killing some souls in Soul Society, then how did it make sense by taking living humans with their souls intact and maneuvering them into Soul Society, and that had no effect on anything?
Yeah, he still got there in the end.
Either that or like
Magic?
only just this arc it became that bad. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's
Maybe it's because it's
Because
beginning to
like
repeat
the
that it's
first
getting
page
annoying.
of the arc was everyone freaking out over how many halls were being killed, and
Yeah.
apparently like if it was such a large number that they were freaking out because it was like way more than usual. Because like maybe like it was like before it's like, oh, you can put like a couple 100,000 souls from here and there, and like either one it won't really make much of a difference. Now it's like one soul annihilation. I don't
Yeah,
know.
like you see what I'm saying? It doesn't make no sense. Like
Because the Quincy's are dickwads.
I mean,
Yeah, well,
think-
to be
I
fair,
think-
Uryu has also been for the last two whatever years being the only one that's destroying the Hollow. He was
Hasn't he-
destroying them.
Wait, wasn't he just the first responder though? Was he like, oh, I'll hold them off until the Shinigami show up?
No,
Wasn't that his
I'm pretty
thing?
sure it was him and Ichigo not arguing about him destroying Hollows.
No, he was like, I'm doing your job now, but it's like I'm more like I'm like the Shinigami like let me hold off like the bigger ones until they show up to purify it. It's not like I'm just gonna go around and kill every hollow and do the
No.
thing that got my race wiped out 200 years ago. Just it's okay now. 'cause
Although I do wonder
'cause
how
I'm
he
Ryu
holds
and
it
I'm
off, 'cause
Bishi.
it's a single attack, but he does
but
destroy
I was
his
gonna
Hollows.
say
you may
about-
have hit the nail on the head about what the issue is here. It has to do with continuity and details, which I think we can't really give him the benefit of the doubt on this. I think Kubo is kind of slipping on this point. Whether you're talking about earlier on in the series where he was just coming up with things off the top of his head, and now, and the fact that he, when you have something from the past and stuff like that, you have the opportunity to sit there and look back and say, oh yeah, I did this or I did that and stuff like that. Let's bring that to the forefront or make that, address that issue and stuff like that, so I'm not contradicting myself later. And instead of doing that, he just comes out of, pulls this out, and you're just like, okay, like I don't, it's that whole thing where people were so pissed off about, oh, the Rancor was supposed to be so powerful, and they just got owned. And then you're
Uh,
like, well, I mean, it was more based on, I mean, you can explain that one away because all of that was based on the reputation and the possibility of what the Iran card can do. And then, of course, let's be honest, a lot of, in truth, the Iran card were hard to,
Yeah, they were
to,
hard
to,
because
to deal
Isaac,
with.
but Isaac was also
Yeah,
overcompensating for them.
yeah. I mean, they were hard to deal with, but they weren't the danger that a lot of people or a lot of the characters were, including like Hitsugai, were making them out to be because the reality is they never actually faced anything like that. So it was all based on assumption.
Yeah, like
And then when it came
Hitsugai
down to
basically
it, they
beat Haribel until
yeah they were hard and
Holier
hard
came out.
to handle, but that was more or less, and even to say that they're hard to handle, that was more or less based on who they ended up getting matched up against. So you have that, and then I do have an issue with the Royal Guard situation based on the fact that I felt that they were properly utilized as far as their capability, but then I think that he kind of did what he did with Unahan in a way where he just like kind of like one shot at them to get them out of the way
Yeah, yeah, like
instead
we
of
didn't get to see.
instead of utilizing them. Like, let's be honest here. Everybody on this call right now, do you honestly do any one of you honestly feel that there shouldn't have been, let's say, a prolonged fight showcasing the elite guard
All of
versus
them,
the
yeah.
royal guard in a significant way as composed to these chapters where we're getting nothing but reaction shots and nothing happened?
Yeah,
well, apparently
another
people
soy
want
phone
I get
reaction
the
chat.
point. I get it.
people want to end the series, or not the series, the year on "You're My Father." Sulking, you are the father. Dun, 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 dun. That was probably what he wanted.
Yeah, but
Um,
he still could have done that, but like just
just
like but still because he was fighting Oshu and the other four were fighting the elite guard. Like we could have seen them fight. We didn't. We just
if
seen
I
them
and
may,
fall
and
off the
and,
chair.
and this is
Instead, we see them all.
this is like a Harry Potter moment. When they did the Harry Potter movies, there was numerous times where they took out important content of the series, I mean of the books and the series and in the various movies that were important to stuff later on in the series, and they took stuff out, and either they took it out and you missed out on the whole thing, and the only people that read the books knew that something was missing,
Mm.
or they took it out and instead of just totally glossing over it and going on to the next thing, because obviously it's going to be hard trying to get all of a book into a movie, but they took out important stuff and then they put in shit that never happened that had
Oh
nothing
God,
to
the
do with
burning of
anything.
the burrow. Oh.
The burning of the burrow, the one in the Deathly Hollow, the part in the Deathly Hollows where uh Harry and Hermione are dancing to the song. Who the fuck cares about that? Didn't happen. What? Who cares about that?
Yeah,
Nothing. But there
yeah.
was like, I mean, something similar to that is going on
um,
in this arc where obviously I can't say that, oh, that's what meant to be there and stuff like that, like, because it's not, I mean, that was based on a book that got turned into a movie. But what I'm saying is that there are parts that in this arc, if this arc is the last one, throughout this arc there were situations where fights were going on and they were totally jumped over and shit happened off screen and we only see the after effects of it. And I'm like, I'm calling bullshit on that because instead of getting those fights, getting those things, which they also did in Harry Potter, they deleted a bunch of fights. Instead of getting those fights and things, we're getting, I'm riding up the elevator, I'm falling off the building for 16 chapters. Like,
can I?
Yeah,
Can I?
I get it. I get it. It's like,
Yeah.
and it's really apparent in a series like Bleach that as like take the Karakura arc for example, where we get like a bunch of fights at once, and all of a sudden it's like one fight at a time, ignore everything else. It's like I think it's more noticeable because of what series this is.
it's a fight manga.
Yeah, it's meant to
Exactly
be.
like
Can I?
If they skipped over stuff like this in Naruto or Dragon Ball, the series would implode on itself because you can't have a series about fighting and then, oh yeah, we're gonna gloss over and just jump over everybody's fight and focus on this one fight and then we're gonna have a whole bunch of daggone chapters where nothing happens. Like,
Can I say the thing,
The thing, the
please?
thing,
I've
also
been
the
waiting
thing, the
for a
thing, the thing, the
while.
thing, the thing, the thing, the thing. Oh,
So
Claire,
going
sell
back to the
those
original
doesn't know
thing
snow
about
what it's like to wait.
Bach bringing
Oh.
up the city here, I don't think you should look for like an in-universe explanation for him. I don't think he's like, oh, I gotta have like my Gucci city in place. It's pretty clear that Kubo did that for space reasons. Like, think about the layout of the palace, like not the main palace, but like everything else, like the five cities and the walkway.
yeah, I
And
get there's not enough
think about like how many people
spatial
are coming
growth.
up. Like there's like there's the 7 or 8 people in Ichigo's group. There's like the 20 down below, and there's gonna be how many opponents. So it's just like a space thing. Like there's some things you just shouldn't look for like a in-universe explanation for. I don't think it's not gonna be there.
No, no, we're not giving it an universe. We're just critiquing it from the outside, man.
Well,
Yeah,
the only
we're not getting. I mean, obviously there needs to be, space to fight and everything like that. I mean, they made it apparently clear that these Quincy's aren't, and this is something they don't do often anymore in this
And there's
series
no there's
either,
no
which
more
is so
slander
weird.
on Sky's apartment.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm about to say. Yeah, before it was like, oh, concentrate the rest into your feet and you can stand in the air. Now it's like that only happens once in a while.
well,
Like the
Cool
whole
remembers
building,
that still.
yeah,
Like
the building was was falling apart, and all of a sudden, I mean, I don't think Yuri ever had an issue. I mean, ever had a situation where he was standing in the air, really. But so I
Well,
can
he was all
understand
right
it.
to do it in Hueco Mundo. He
I,
created the
well,
platform.
yeah, but I can understand that. Well, yeah, he had to make do the platform thing. But I understand that the Quincy might not be able to do that. But this idea that we need an elevator to get up 14 daggone however many stories and stuff like that when we already know that you can pretty much
Yeah,
go
but
up in walk in the sky. Like, I mean, things like that. It's like I think we was talking about that in a couple podcasts before about how like the transportation thing is like, okay, so all of a sudden you can't do this anymore. So we have to include
well, wait, they
these
can though.
particular well, that's the thing. Like, we have to include these particular people and stuff like that because somehow for whatever reason never explained that's not an option.
So
oh, what?
What?
well, they mentioned like
Yeah, well we know
Puddles my Reishi
why
and
it's
everyone
all.
and, like everyone else. Yeah, he did. He mentioned that in 524.
Yeah, well we know they want to do it as a surprise
What?
attack or whatever.
No,
But I
he
mean,
did mention it.
who?
No, like Ichigo mentioned like in 524 when he's like, okay, how are we gonna get back to the palace? He's like, oh, I can create footholds to my Raitsu to get up there, and then for everyone else who isn't a Shinigami, like you can do something or other. And then Yoroshi's like, don't mind that, I have
Oh
a
yeah,
better
that was the
idea.
shield. They said the shield for him.
Yeah, no, so Ku hasn't forgotten that like they can do that. He just hasn't had them do it.
Yeah, no, but
So
it
that's what I
But I'm
want.
saying
what I
for
think.
I think that at this point in the series where you're doing this series, going through this war and doing this serious fight, and you're fighting the main guy and stuff like that, if there's a situation where the conversation leads to I can't, I'm going to go ahead and do this, and for all of you who can't, why the hell are you taking the people who can't? Where when it comes to combat or getting somewhere or doing something, you're using the word can't. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if
Eh,
if you're gonna send, the soldiers in, your warriors in and stuff like that, do you really want any of your warriors to be like, oh, I can't do this. I can't
uh,
swing this sword. I can't shoot this
best
gun.
friends.
Like,
To be honest, see, actually, the actual on the point of the elevator and on the point of the Fullbringers, actually, it felt like a really convoluted way to me. Okay, yeah, I understand. Okay, yeah, he's explained it with his logic or whatever, but it felt like a really convoluted way just to
exactly.
go, oh, here, Ruruka and Yukio are here. Yeah, let's have all the characters
And
here.
then and
Because,
then
like, he's
and then
going, oh,
only to
Ruruka, your power's about love. And
and,
it's like,
and then
so
only
are
to
Yumi's.
justify and then only to justify exactly how, well, at least you and me, son, feel about the whole situation by putting in this chapter about how they're not even going to step outside the box.
Yeah, it was just basically, I know, they're not even going to be there anymore. It's just, yeah,
I
we're
don't
here
want to think
too.
outside the box.
You just justified the whole total lack of necessity of these two characters in this whole arc here.
Yeah, it
Like,
was
their
just,
job
it
was to
felt like
daggone,
an over convoluted cameo.
yeah, Your
Your
Well,
your
job was
job.
just to be an elevator.
Yeah, the elevator.
Yukio was necessary to move the box. I'm not sure about Ruruka, but
Oh, because she had to put the daggone, she had to put the the locational phenomenon inside the box for whatever fucking reason.
I know.
I mean
I have
being
to quite.
present in the
I have to wonder:
box.
does she
Like,
love the Dangai or does she love the Valley of Screams? You know, because
well,
is
Yeah.
she,
that not
no,
what her
no,
part?
she doesn't, but she forced herself to. I don't know.
Wait.
Magic.
Let's go back to this because I've been so disinterested in these past two. Or exactly what was the reasoning for daggone putting the Valley of Screams in the box?
It was
So
so they
bas
can
so
mods
it,
get
so
through it.
it was like, oh, so we're gonna so Yukio's gonna make a box. She's gonna put a thing in there. It's a reishi thing to transport, and I guess they use that only because moving with that inside of this Valley of Screams will hide their spiritual power from their enemies, and
But wait, wait,
like
wait, wait,
if
wait, wait, wait. Couldn't Yukio's ability already do that?
I don't know.
It's very. See, it all was very convoluted in my opinion.
Wait. Think back to the Fullbring arc. Didn't his power have pretty much capability of doing that?
Yeah, he
Hold on.
created. Didn't he create like realms and stuff? And
Yeah, like
Hold on, guys, CNET. Give me a minute. I'll CNET this. We'll figure this out.
we will
We'll
figure
do
this out. I know this has become a
it.
quite serious podcast. We better have answers afterwards. I need to laugh, man.
Oh, look, 626 is out. Okay. Just like while it loads, I think. Okay, so I'll just read word for word what he's got here after the Grim Jow. All right, so blah 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 Garganta. So
That was a
uh
very interesting translation there. Thanks.
yeah, no problem. Okay, so around the Dangai are lots of small collections of stray souls in various sizes. We call them Kyogoku, which are Valley Screams. And the void of Garganta is what fills all the space around a lot of them. You've been through it a few times yourself, so I dare say you know this. But within Garganta, Ryatsu is extremely unstable. If you don't keep generating Ryatsu and building a footing for yourself, you can't even stand up there. Yet within that Garganta, these Valley of Screams alone exist as stable spiritual zones. Very little is known about why the Valley of Screams are able to remain stable outside of speculation that it has to do with a unique spirit particle makeup. But Kisuke decided to actually make use of them. These guys, since they managed to round up for that purpose. The ability to create isolated space at will using electrical power, and the ability to contain objects within a object she adores. Using Liluka, fucking see it, it's Ririka, you asshole. Ririka's ability, we were able to place an entire small Valley of Screams into a box and transport it. Then with Yukio's ability, we turn it into a room on rails. What you see here is the complete product we have just managed to create. At this stage, all it currently do is travel the short distance between here and the Spirit Palace using a nail eye planet for guidance. However, being able to invade enemy territory without expending any Rayatu is a huge benefit. So, they need the Valley of Screams to move the Garganta because it would remain stable by itself because reasons. Whereas if they want to move through it themselves, they have to keep expending special power, and then in that way, they will be their enemies will be able to sense them coming, which I believe
okay,
was true in Fake Karakura Town, where they sensed them coming before the Gargantas even opened. Where they're like, "Oh, here they come!
but
Hold on to your butts!"
my point. Okay, I understand the hard thing about not wanting to expend energy to get up there. My issue is why they put the Valley of Screams inside the box, needing Ruruka in the first place. I can understand needing Yukio and stuff like that, but if I can recall, and I might be off about this. If I can recall, Yukio's powers already conceals you, and his power pretty much allows him to go and do all that stuff that they want him to do without involving Riruka at all. So I'm not really understanding
I don't
the
know. Yeah, see, that's the
the
thing.
basis behind this. Like
We'll see. The thing is that obviously Sill's explanation there was they need to do that because reasons. So you did include reasons
yeah,
there.
he
So
did include
there,
reasons because they're not really explaining why Riruka is actually needed and why Yorohara's daggone
I
grand
please
did
don't
idea
hate
was
me for
putting the
pointing that out.
Valley of
when
Screams in the box.
when I included reasons, I was just like,
You
I
say
was
no, yeah, you did say because of reasons after you gave the explanation for why they put
uh
the thing in the box. So like,
without
I know, but usually
okay.
when someone uses the
Somehow I
term
don't remember.
reasons, it usually means It's too
Mm.
convoluted for me to explain right
No,
now.
I
Okay,
understand, I
well,
understand that. I just don't remember
Still
saying it at
has
all.
dementia. He doesn't remember what he said just a second ago.
I don't remember
But
anything. Like who the fuck are you people?
I
Jesus
don't
Christ.
know. I'm someone who has
Hold
like
on.
a sore
So
foot.
I was gonna read this. So
Okay,
blah
okay. So
blah. Okay, yeah.
so
So the box
wait,
is.
what were you
I'll,
saying, Future?
I was just saying that yeah, Yukio is able to seal people away in the box himself. So
I
like I'm looking
guess
at his
maybe.
page right now. So
Yeah, that is true. I guess like. So the Valley of Screams doesn't conceal it. His box does, which is why they need him. And I guess that like he wouldn't be able to move it through the Garganta on his own or something. So which is why they need the Valley of Screams as like a thing that holds it all together. That would seem to be the reason.
But isn't the Valley of Screams inside the box?
Yes, but it's a basis, and like and that attached to rails. So
Well,
like,
I'm wondering if it would take too much effort to go through the Garganta because it would there's a lot of energy expended because you have to use a lot of Reatsu and stuff to get through it. So I'm wondering if the Folly of Screams is mostly a vacuum and they gathered a bunch of concentrated stuff and did
ra-
that
ra-
and
yeah,
so
stuff,
less resistance in that way.
something
Okay,
like
so
that.
they've got us speculating, which means, unfortunately, I don't think
Yeah,
that
I
this
don't like it.
I don't think that this was explained the right way in this, and I'm not going to blame the translators. I'm blaming Kubo using this at all because this is obviously not being explained the right way. I don't know exactly what reason he's using this for, and for us to speculate on it after he's given an explanation that is totally dissatisfying, I don't understand it. Like, what I'm saying is he could have just used Yukio, and if the issue is, moving the thing through the Garganta using power and stuff like that, then that's probably what should be said because it's not really clear that that's what he's saying.
I know. Oh yeah, no, I know. I think that's why, obviously, I'm sorry that I brought up this big, massive debate of speculation.
Ah,
But
and always
basically,
making the debates.
the reason, obviously, it's very convoluted. It's very complicated for a matter of just traveling in an elevator for 3 or 4 chapters. And honestly, I do think that it was used as an excuse to cameo characters because, I mean, look, where's Shukashima and all have been? They were cameoed a couple of chapters ago, and now everyone's writing down that Ishin, and all that was said there was, oh, uncle will be unhappy, and now it's, oh, Ishin is their uncle. It was established. It's like, oh, bugger off,
Yeah,
stop.
and that's the whole thing. Like, okay, you establish these characters, and then okay, you have Ichigo and them going up elevator style. You've got Yorihara and them opening the door to Narnia, and
Narnia.
Yeah, yeah. That door
Is that how
though.
it's pronounced in your accent? It's Narnia?
I
Narnia?
yeah,
Narnia.
it's Narnia. What the hell are you talking about? So
Sorry.
Narnia with
It's
Aslan,
Narnia over here, man. Sorry.
Aslan the
yeah,
lion.
Oswald. Sorry. I'm sorry. Carry on.
Jadis and so then Yorihara are gonna fight Box Queen Jadis, or
No, yeah.
the White
Box
Witch.
Queen. Yeah, like Bach could have any sexual attraction to anyone. Jesus.
Yeah. Have you ever actually watched read The Magician's Nephew? I hope they make a movie of it. I like that one.
Not likely. Everybody's too old.
I've tried reading those books and I couldn't really. They like the only anyone I can get
They're
to the line was
they're
the wardrobe.
fantastical. They're fantastical fantasy worlds, hidden with a hidden agenda of
Yeah.
Christianity.
Oh
So
yeah, of course. No, but I actually like reading them in terms of I like trying to pinpoint all the wee terms.
they're nice books. I prefer Oz myself, but hey.
Uh,
No, no,
But
no.
uh,
It's fine. No, it's maybe it's because CS
Oz is
Lewis
more nonsensical.
more nonsensical. Oh yeah.
oh, of
Well,
course.
yeah. What does annoy me about Narnia is that Susan apparently grows up and starts to like fickle things like girly stuff, and that automatically makes her a
She
bad
doesn't
person. She
believe in
doesn't get to go
Narnia
to heaven,
anymore because she wants to be, a grown person. So yeah, all her family
so she doesn't get to
dies.
go to heaven.
Yeah, all her family dies, and she's alive because she doesn't believe in fantasy worlds.
So she doesn't get. It was basically an
Right.
allusion to the rapture. She doesn't get raptured.
Yeah, she doesn't get to go to heaven. Maybe someday or down the line she will when she believes in
Uh,
Narnia again.
Narnia.
well,
Narnia.
anyway, I think we're about done because this chapter was it was same number of pages but not much.
Okay,
So,
sorry. Go on to the next. Sorry, what was the next part of it? You said there's 4 parts. We only got part two.
we got the part two and then went into part three. Part two, I was gonna mention the city being ripped apart and the door being built, but then like, okay, on to part three. The the Ichigo showing up there and saying, "Oh, now it's there," and now the palace is covered in ice because that's safe.
Is it
If you're
covered in
slipping,
ice? Yeah.
yeah, it is, and now they're gonna have a panel of Askin running and slipping and hitting his head because it's not safe.
Oh yeah,
Um,
and it's just so it's covered in ice now, and the one per and someone who's zombified is Hitsugaya. Okay. Well, we got
yeah,
another powerful ice person anyway, don't we?
yeah.
In Rukia.
So what I was gonna say is, yeah, that's really about it. You can't. This wasn't a fun podcast. This chapter wasn't fun. It was
Yeah,
just,
it really wasn't much to make fun of. Like there really wasn't, other than
yeah,
to
and
say,
uh,
oh, I'm sorry. What really annoyed me this chapter was the kind of, oh, the dialogue for
this
friggin'
X and
Ganju.
Y. What annoyed me this chapter was Bleach,
No,
and
actually, what Ganju annoyed me this chapter. He turned around and goes, "Oh, Ichigo, you've grown so much." Oh no, you haven't. And it's like, make up your mind. Seriously,
yeah.
it's
Well, he
like,
hasn't seen it for like 2 years, so maybe he was like,
It's
oh,
like as bad
let me
as
get that
that
memory
that
back.
quote from Grimjaw. He's like, "Oh, why'd you come?" He's like, "Oh, well, who else is going to rape you in Hueque Mundo?" It's
Oh
just
yeah.
like that's
Who else
not
is
what
gonna
he
violate
said.
your sweet, sweet ass?
oh wait, he's
Yeah,
gonna. Did someone
this
say rape that?
guy.
No one said that. Sal just was like, let's run with it. Like, you can't blame Manga Machine for that one,
No,
unfortunately.
nobody said that, but
All
that's
right,
the
I thought that
feeling.
was a manga stream
That's
trans.
that's the feeling that I
I
got.
wish.
That was the feeling that I got from, him. And if you looked at the look that he gives Ichigo, like, yeah, you know what it is. You know what's going to happen next.
Loop yourself up right now.
So when they use the term
Right.
fighting or defeat you or beat you, they're using euphemisms for sex.
Hey, look,
Yeah.
hey, look, hey, look. There
I'm
is,
gonna beat you with
I know
my
for a fact,
penis.
I know for a fact that there is yaoi manga with featuring relationship between Ichigo and Grimjaw.
Of course. Like
Not,
what?
not, not, not to mention a one where it's featuring Ichigo and Hollow Ichigo, so Ichigo is apparently fucking himself.
Yeah. So
So,
all I can say is I hope that 628 is at least decent. Like maybe the Royal Guard coming back and being evil, or I don't fucking know. Like there's all this speculation about like,
Oh, where
oh,
they have to
just
protect the Soul King,
yeah.
regardless of what
So
form he's
like
in.
it reminds me of
I don't think that's how that works.
yeah no I don't think it
That's
is
not how
either.
any
But
of this works.
it reminds me of none. This is how it works. No, like it reminds me of Kingdom Hearts when
Kingdom of Heart.
yeah, Kingdom Hearts when like the bad guy gets like the Keyblade and Sora and Donald or Don and Goofy are like, oh, we have to follow the guy with the Keyblade, so they abandon Sora, and then eventually come back. But like, I feel like it might be a bit more like literal in this case. If that doesn't turn out to be true, I'm not sure if it is honestly. Like,
It would. I
if
don't
it
think that would
does,
be true because they are, and Shinigami, and regardless of what Bach did, he's still their enemy. That hasn't
yeah,
changed. He's not. They're not Quincy. They're not his servants and stuff like that. I
it's
mean, just a
probably
couple
not
of minutes
true.
ago, just a couple of minutes ago, Ichibe Dagon was about to write him out of existence. So,
Yeah,
like,
no, I'm not saying that it's likely that like, oh, Bach's my friend now
No,
or
no, no.
whatever.
What he
No,
means is that if they destroy
I
Bach, they destroy the Soul King again,
well,
basically.
maybe that, or maybe like he'll force them to fight for him, because like if he's got like the Soul King's like unrestrained power now, and that allowed him to just like Play-Doh the entire city into existence, then maybe he can control. I don't fucking know. All I hope
but
is that
wait, wait, wait.
it's at least decent, because like next week I'm
For
graduating. I'd like saying decent for the 28th
well,
Oh, you're
instead of another.
graduating?
Yeah, finally. Took
for
long enough.
Zill and Sun and Future, then the question would become is seeing where Bach is at now and what he's done and everything like that, is it becoming more of a possibility that my theory is being proven correct about what might be going on with him?
Well, Sal, here's the real question. When have you ever been wrong? That is the
I
question.
mean, I could be wrong about this. I mean, I don't know how because I'm really not entirely sure what other way that they would be able to do this.
Hot
I
Kai
mean,
no
at this
Jutsu.
At this
Bankai
point,
Plot
if
Plotception.
Tencho.
it's Ichigo's
Bankai
Bankai
Tencho.
that gonna rewrites history or warps reality on the level as Scarlet Witch did.
In before the pilot chapter foreshadows Bankai by allowing him to literally cut fate.
Yeah. I
Oh,
wonder,
God.
does Bleach need a Infinite Crisis?
No!
I'm
First of all,
joking.
there's like one continuity, and we don't acknowledge the anime
Oh
or
god.
the Rei guy. We're not bringing in like Inaba to fight against Buck.
I know it takes a whole month for Pars to disappear apparently.
Yeah, no, it takes a
Ooh.
whole episode for a Monsole to die somehow, and
Yes.
yeah, totally, and so yeah, hope springs eternal. That's all I can say.
I know, well dear god, I hope Jinta and Uru don't get killed because they're Modzos apparently. Sorry.
Well, I mean,
Can I
obviously
say
the only.
Oh yeah, Future, go ahead. Sorry.
Can I say just one thing about this chapter, like the last page where Yorichi's like, "Oh, that damn Juju man, he remade the whole palace." Like, what's with the face she's making?
It's like,
Like
oh
she's
my
giving
god.
she's giving this intense smirk while she's saying it. Like he
It's
changed
like,
the
who the
palace. Like,
hell
why are
was
you
your
smiling?
It's like,
looks
what
like
the
it
hell
looks
is your
like
interior designer?
it looks like a nervous grin. Like she's like, oh shit, he can do this. What else can he do?
That looks way too intense though. Like she looks way
Yeah.
too happy about
Yeah,
this.
No,
it was like a Grimjaw smile.
Yeah, no, I actually find it rather funny. I thought I like to say in my head that she was actually saying, "Who the hell is his interior decorator?"
No, even before that, on the previous page, the last panel of that, with that's focusing on her eye, like I didn't realize until like today that she was looking up at the palace. I thought that she was like she looked at the ground and her eyes rolled up for some reason.
All I know is, if nothing else, we better see some Shikai and Bankai out of Yorichi. I am sick and tired of this bullshit. Like,
Yeah,
she running
Kubo.
around here thinking she going to defeat everybody by punching them in the face. No. No.
No. Yeah, Kubo,
We-
make Sal's panties wet, please.
We
Yeah,
have gone past the point of this being an acceptable form of combat, especially considering she has no opponents to really effectively use it against. And Shunko is all good and well and stuff like that, but it barely helped Soifang in this situation. So yeah, she needs to take out her Zanpakuto. I don't care if she's hiding in between her boobies or whatever. I don't care. Whatever, wherever she's putting it, I don't care. It doesn't matter. I don't care where she pulls it out of. She just better pull it out and use it. So
Oh, you know
that's
what? Before we end off, I thought of
Pull out the
something.
resurrection and use it. Sorry.
I thought something funny today with Grimjaw being present for all this. So I imagine that Leal Barrow is the sniper. He's probably gonna he might try and pick people off before they get to the palace, right? What if he shoots
hopefully
Grimjaw?
not before Grimjaw sees his soulmate Basby.
Yeah, but he shoots Grimjaw. And Grim's like, oh, just kidding. I already have a hole there.
Ah,
That would be so amazing.
Spoiler
man.
alert.
Grimjaw,
Spoiler alert.
waiting for the Grimjaw Basby team up.
Yeah. Basically, trying to take the hit for him is like, wait, I already have a hole there. Don't worry, man.
I love it when people
He's
go,
like-
"Oh, Grimjaw was so much stronger than him," and it's like, how do you know this? You don't know this.
Because
Oh, you mean like
Grimjaw's-
Bill?
Yeah, I do. I know from we've seen that he's like way faster, way stronger, harder,
when
better,
we get
faster,
there-
stronger.
We get there and they're at the
Also,
point of meeting
Basby's like-
each other,
Basby's like
and
on his last
Basby's
legs
like,
right
"I
now.
hate you," and Grimjaw's like, "I hate you," and then they're about to fight, and then next thing you know, their clothes are off and they're making out, and it goes on from
Well,
there. I was like, "What are we
Well,
reading?"
even then, Sal, even then,
And then
Basby
Bach
will
is
get-
just
will get
standing there
bottom.
in horror, like, even my ability to see in the future didn't see this happening.
No, even then, Basby will be at the bottom, and you know it. Jesus Christ.
You don't know that. Maybe they're versatile.
I
You don't know
I do know that because Basby's can barely walk, and then Grimjaw's like, I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go. Well, that's because he hasn't been fighting the whole
I'm sure
way.
Basby can barely thrust at this point, so he's got to
No,
be bottom.
I foresee them taking turns.
then
Stupid. Let's
eventually-
end this podcast, please.
Why?
and then eventually Basby will make an account on this site and try to assert that he knows Grimjaw better than anyone else.
I have plowed Grimjaw's asshole. I know everything about him. I know that
But
his favorite food
his name will
is.
be, but he's also known as James in real life or something
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah, James
It's
B.
my favorite character, so I think I would know. Like,
Yeah, honestly, like I know food is I know that Basby's favorite food is ghost pepper, and I know that his favorite band is Linkin Park, and
Linkin Park.
yeah, I know all about. I wrote him. I am Kubo. I'm God.
it's as bad as what's his name, who used to come
Joe.
on here all the time and stuff like that and do all the stuff for the bounce. Why isn't this
Oh.
included in the bounce and why isn't that included in the bounce? Because they're not important. That's why.
Yeah,
Like,
they don't exist.
Oh, what do you call
they're my
him?
favorite characters. Like, okay, well, guys seen in only one arc of the series are your favorite characters. Why the hell are you reading this?
Oh
Then
my
I don't
god, what do
understand.
you call him?
I
What?
You weren't here, you don't know. Oh my god. Is he had a guy on Fortress Swan was one of his socks that was his cousins because after he got banned he had loads of cousins and friends that all came on and were like he didn't mean to do this. What was his name?
uh,
Oh,
Morgan Silv,
yeah,
Morgan Silv, Morgan Silv.
oh,
yeah,
that
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
Ah, shit, dude.
Yeah, sorry.
Right. Uh, anyway, yeah.
Boring chapter.
Boring chapter.
So much so that Sal is now speculating. We all know that he
Yeah,
speculated.
yeah, and that, yeah, the end is nigh.
The end is now.
Jesus.
The end is now
So,
after.
yeah.
I don't dislike speculation. I mean, it just has to come from some basis of fact in the series. That's all I'm saying. I mean, you can speculate. You just got to make some fucking
Or
sense.
him is a Fullbringer.
Okay, okay. This chapter is so bad that Sal is now
Still just
speculating
lost all
on.
of his credibility.
I had some to begin with. The way he talked to me, I wouldn't know it.
Well, this chapter is so bad that Sal is speculating on a romance between Grimjow and
Yeah,
Basby. That's how bad it's gone.
no,
Hey, look,
this chapter is
Well, I
again
don't
the
know.
fucking
Well, I
Sal
suppose it
had
would be
check.
like Hollow Ichigo and Ichigo since, Basby, Grimjow, and Kenpachi are all three the same characters except in different races.
No. Don't you dare. It's
I don't know that Zaraki is included in that.
Okay.
I I don't think the
No
same character they
threesomes.
have different motivations. Like the
They
whole
all just want to fight Ichigo or
the
fight.
whole
That's all they want to fight.
wanting to fight it's not it's not like exclusive to Bleach and even like Kenpachi's clone in the Ironcar arc, Noitro had his own like inferiority complex and wanted to die in battle and Kenpachi's like I just want to fight. I won't kill weaklings. And Noitro's like I'll kill
What
everyone.
about the plagiarized version of Zaraki by Nick Simmons?
Oh God, with all the white hair and the scythe, like what the fuck
I'm
you
like,
doing?
dude, you didn't even try to daggone hide the fact. I mean, you're as bad as a certain. Okay, so having said all that,
Hmm.
all right,
Yeah,
everybody, good day.
cut it off. No, sorry, cut it off just before the.
Hey,
Not having said all that,
pay no attention to the last 5 minutes, yo.
do not look at the man behind the curtain.
It's okay. I know how to split it and all now, guys. I know
Uh,
how to
yeah,
computer.
yeah. That anyway.
I know how to
Live.
Tinternet.
We're,
I'm a YouTuber now.
we'll record some more Sal rage at stupidity in a few minutes, but bye for now.
Yeah. Night night, guys.
This shit's okay. It isn't. It sucks. Can you blame the man who's feeling emotional? He had to go make his dick cry.
No, the great thing with homeopathy is you can't overdose on it. Well, you could fucking drown.